You know that kind of stuff drives me crazy. I love when my puzzles do that. Hey guys. Okay, now I am super excited about this puzzle because for one, it's from a brand that I have been so looking forward to trying for the longest now. And many of you have said such amazing things about it too. So, you know, that makes it even more exciting for me. And on top of that, it's a Disney Thomas Kincaid image, which is something that I actually haven't really worked on in quite a while. But anyways, you know what? Let's get on with it because I'm too excited. I can't wait to open it. The puzzle that I am talking about is from Schmidt Puzzles. It's called Alice in Wonderland. As I said, it is a Disney Thomas Kincaid image, which you for sure know by now that's my absolute favorite. And it's 1,000 pieces and it's 693 by 493 millimeters when it's completed. The box has a nice big stamp on the front that says it's premium quality. And there's a whole list of things here on the side that talk about all the great things about this brand. Unfortunately, my particular box doesn't have any of this in English, but you know what? That's okay. Just judging from these little pictures here, I can tell we're in for some good stuff. And now that I think about it, it's moments like these where I highly regret not continuing my German lessons, which I was doing sometime in the beginning of last year, and I kind of stopped because of the channel was taking up a lot of my time. But you know, that's probably something I'm going to get back into this year. But anyways, I can't say enough how spectacular Disney Thomas Kincaid images are. At least to me. I just think they're like the top Disney images. And just like all the others, this image is absolute perfection. I love Alice in Wonderland. That's probably like my earliest memory of watching a Disney movie. And not only do you have Alice in this image, but you have all the other fun characters. You have the White Rabbit, Tweedledee Tweedledum, Queen of Hearts, the strange looking flowers. There's just so many elements in this image that just take me back to some of my favorite scenes in the movie. And the scenery itself is just absolutely amazing. Now, in terms of challenge level with this, one thing that I've noticed, and I think a lot of you have mentioned this as well, but I seem to find with Thomas Kincaid images, Disney or not, they tend to be quite on the challenging side. And I'm not sure if it has more to do with the style of artwork, because when you look at the pieces really up close, the details tend to seem more on the blurry side. And I feel like that's mainly because that's just the nature of Thomas Kincaid's artwork. It's a painting. It's kind of supposed to look that way. Now, one of the things that I can't wait to, find out with these Schmidt sets is how the print is on these pieces. Now, I've only ever done Disney Thomas Kincaid images from Seiko. And overall, those puzzling experiences, they weren't absolutely fantastic. To be honest, the only thing that really saved those experiences was, the image itself. They're beautiful. I love them. So that was always my driving force into completing the puzzles because, to be perfectly honest, the nature of Seiko puzzles, their quality isn't that great. Those pieces are very hard to, kind of figure out what you're looking at. So I'm really looking forward to finding out if the Schmidt brand is gonna be a much better experience. And again, judging from all the things that I've heard from all of you guys, I just can't wait. So you know what, guys? I'm just gonna shut up now because I have to get into this puzzle. So you know what? Let's finally get this one started. All right, let's get this one finally opened. Now, with this being my first Schmidt puzzle, I want to be very gentle opening this. I don't want to have any casualties here. So let me do this without my trusty scissors. Oh, I must say, the packaging is fantastic. This is a very, very solid box. This is beautiful. We got no flimsy stuff going on here. All right, let's finally open this up. All right, so Schmidt doesn't come with the poster, but you know what, that's okay, I guess. I was going to speak too soon there. There is a bit of puzzle dust, but to be honest, it doesn't seem like it's as bad as the Ravensburger sets. I mean, I don't know yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this box just in case, because I don't really want to get my puzzle table all dusty again. So let's unload these. It's kind of a very fine dust, really. I don't know if you can see that on my hands, but you can see it on the outside, in the inside of the bag even. Yeah, there you go. Very powdery dust. But anyways, these feel already amazing. We got a really nice piece size here. I don't really remember what the Seiko 1000 piece sizes look like. I'll probably do a comparison at some point in the video. But look at what we're dealing with here so far. These pieces have a great thickness to them. And they're very strong. Oh my God, this is impressive. Wow, this is quality, guys. I'm really loving this so far. This is getting me even more excited. Now let's look at this print real quick. All right, I'm trying to get pieces here with some detail in them, and also ones with some flowers. But from what I'm seeing so far, I mean, I kind of feel like this is pretty darn clear. It has some glare to it, not too much really, but that's really not bad. But look at that print. Look at the rabbit's eyeballs. The print looks pretty darn clear compared to my Seiko sets. And I'm saying that because for the most part, when I do my Seiko sets, they do tend to be on the blurry side. Like, I can easily make out what's going on in these pieces. And the colors look very true to the box image as well. I mean, I must say, I am very impressed. Now, the question here is, what is putting it together going to be like? Am I going to feel the same way whilst I'm piecing it together? I do not know, but so far I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. So you know what, guys? Yeah, I'm just going to stop with this unboxing now because I got to get this started. So you know what? Let's just move on. Alright, so honestly the sorting wasn't too bad, but anyways, here's what I did. So of course we have the edge pieces. This tray here is anything with the characters or any pieces that had like the table or the signs. This tray here is kind of piled high, but what I did was put anything that was just kind of just greens really, and some browns. We have some of the path here, which is this area. And again, it's going to be mostly like just the plain green parts of the image. The next tray here, it's an even bigger pile because this has anything that has flowers in it. It's going to be all this here, all of this area with flowers in the background. I'm pretty sure I have some of the trees in there as well. Next tray is anything with water in it. This tray, this was tricky for me. And what I mean by that is I don't really know what these pieces are exactly. It could be some water areas, but it's mainly dark. So it's probably like the tree here, kind of have some other dark areas in the puzzle, like here. I also put this area in there with the little, what do you call that, glitter, stars, sparkles, you know what I mean. And then for the last tray here, these were all very light pieces. These colors, I don't know, this stood out to me the most, hence why I have it separated. So it's anything with like this bright peachy orangey color, and I know that's a dark piece, but it kind of has that one little bit there. And this is very light as well, so it's gonna most likely be anything with the sky here and this background, and also it's gonna be this background as well with the castle and probably the maze as well. Now that I look at it, it kind of looks like those pieces. So I am very sure that I am going to have to resort most of these trays, especially the ones with the flowers. This I don't know, but you know what? Who knows? We'll see, right? I'm really loving the image print. You know, I'm able to better make out what I'm looking at in these pieces compared to, you know, the Thomas Kincaid Seiko pieces. So you know what? I feel really good about this. I'm super excited. So let's finally start putting this together. All right, let's move on.
So as soon as I was done with that, I went right into getting the edges put together, which was pretty easy. And during this first stage, I was already starting to get a little bit suspicious about the overall fit. To me, it felt a little bit on the loose side, but I kept telling myself, don't jump to conclusions already, you only just started and it's just the edges. Because, that can tend to be the case with edge pieces in most puzzle brands. But I got that completed fairly quickly, and side note, I actually had all the edge pieces sorted out properly the first time around with nothing missing. And that doesn't usually happen, so I was proud of myself. But anyways, I moved on to the tray with the least amount of pieces, which had the lighter pieces with the sky, the castle, the maze, and then moved on to the water and started putting the characters together, which tends to be my favorite part of putting Disney puzzles together, because Disney's all about them amazing characters. And the more I started piecing these sections together, the more I started to rethink about my earlier suspicions and really started to see what Schmidt was all about.
All right, so far so good. At first I thought the puzzle was gonna be on the crumbly side because of the edges, but once they were all together, it seemed to just kind of sit very well. But we're getting the characters put together now. I kind of have some of these signs coming up. We got the Cheshire Cat. Alice is pretty much done. And now we kind of have to get to the rest of this puzzle, which is gonna mainly be like the flowers and the grass and the sky. Kind of like all the hard stuff, really. We're already at that point, I think. So you know what? I think what I'm gonna do is, because these trays kind of got like a lot going on here, I think the best bet would be is to resort these by flowers, colors, whatnot. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's a lot in this tray. This is gonna be quite a lot of work. So you know what? Let's move on and let's see how we can get this going.
Yeah, that flower tray was a beast. Because really, this image consisted of a lot of plant life, so I felt a bit overwhelmed at times with this resort. I had a number of piles forming, and I had moments where I just wanted to get back into actually putting the image together. But really, there is a benefit to resorting your trays because it kind of gives you a better sense of direction on how to go about the completion of certain areas in the image, especially areas that can be challenging to figure out, at least to me. I know most people don't care to sort, and that's okay. But if you are a sorter, I highly recommend you try to resort your trays throughout your puzzle sessions. And I know I keep saying this all the time, but someone might be new here and will be hearing this for the first time. Also, resorting your trays doesn't always work for certain images, but it sure does for this one, so I figure I best mention it. Besides, I always like to give you a rundown of how I go about completing the puzzle in my videos, just in case you decide to try it out yourself, or if you just so happen to be stuck working on the same image and can't figure out how to continue on with it. And if you're the latter, don't give up, you can do it.
All right, now I've made a ton of really good progress here, but now I am down to like the trays with lots and lots of pieces in them. This one here has mainly like darkish pieces. We have this with just like mainly grass and green overall, and then these other trays here are filled with like flower pieces. We kind of like finished up the easy areas of the puzzle, and now it's just a case of filling in the gaps. And yes, I know I made a mess on my table again, but I don't know, I guess that's just the way I puzzle. Anyways, what I've started doing in little areas throughout the table, as you can see, I've set aside little piles with pieces that kind of have the same thing going on. So here we have like the orange flowers. I've got like bluish flowers here. Some of these trays here have just like red flowers in them. This tray, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do yet because, they're all pretty dark. But I don't know, I think I'll be able to sort this out a little easier. And then for this one, I'm thinking about just separating it by like tree branches. We have some of these with like grass and paths in them. Yeah, you know what? I'm not too worried about it because you know what? I'm having a lot of fun with this puzzle and I almost don't want it to end. But anyways, you know what? Let's just continue on with this.
As I've said a million times, and I'll say it again, my favorite kind of puzzle is a Disney Thomas Kincaid. He's my absolute favorite artist. And the further I got into this puzzle, the more I started to feel like this Disney Thomas Kincaid experience was the ultimate. Not only because the image was so beautiful and colorful, but the overall quality of these pieces amplified the whole experience. I fell more and more in love with Schmidt as I got closer and closer to the end. And I took my time with it because I wanted to savor every moment of it. And it made me think about how I wish my Disney Thomas Kincaid collection wasn't all Seiko. Because with that brand, the lack of quality would take away from the whole experience. It really does come to show how important quality is when it comes to puzzling. It can really make or break an experience no matter how amazing or perfect the puzzle image is to you.
All right, well, we're pretty much at the end right now. And quite honestly, I wish it wasn't because I don't really want it to end. I'm actually feeling quite sad about it, but you know what? That's okay because I do have another Schmidt puzzle in my collection that's also Disney Thomas Kincaid, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be waiting too much longer to get that one completed. But anyways, you know what? Let me stop being sad about this. Let's just continue here and let's get it done.
So after getting most of the flowers in place, it was just a matter of filling in the gaps with the rest of the darker pieces, which were for the big tree trunk, and moving myself to the other side of the table to get the rest of the orange flowers in place. Then I was ready to join the Mad Hatter and the Hare to celebrate my unbirthday. It took me about 8.5 hours to finally join the tea party and to gather my overall thoughts on this Schmidt experience.
So Schmidt is another major German puzzle manufacturer. I think it's kind of like Ravensburger's competition or something. And their English website doesn't really have much to it. You can't really even order anything directly from it. And I did find the German website, and that of course had everything in it, but of course it was all in German. So with the little knowledge that I have of the German language and with the help of Google Translator, I was able to translate the info from the back of the puzzle box. So let's very quickly go down the list. First, it states it has a great variety of piece shapes. Absolutely. I think there were at least 5 different piece shapes in various forms. And to me, I thought the piece size was great as well. The next one loosely translated to perfect cohesion from specially developed cardboard. I think that translation is a little bit off, but I think I get what it's trying to talk about here. And it's the overall hold and the material, which I do have to say was probably 2 of my most favorite things about this brand. These pieces are nice and thick. And of course, you know, I had to go grab the calipers to see what kind of thickness we were dealing with here. And of course, to see the differences between that brand alongside Ravensburger and Seiko, which are 2 other puzzle brands that carry a number of Disney images. And it beat both of them. I did have that quick questionable instance in the beginning of the completion process when I was putting the edge pieces together, but that doubt was very short-lived. And I mean, I have to say, the overall experience just continued to get better and better. And as I completed sections either in trays or in open sections on my messy puzzle table, I was able to easily pick them up, slide them across the table without any casualties. You know, that kind of stuff drives me crazy. I love when my puzzles do that. And not only did it pass the pickup test, but it also passed the storage test. It wasn't the easiest to take apart in sections because the fit and the hold is just, it's snug. So you have to kind of separate it slowly and carefully. But I did it and set all the sections right back in the box. But I mean, quite honestly, this is a puzzle that I know I'm gonna wanna work on again at some point. So, you know, I wasn't too fussed if it wasn't gonna work out. It has a perfect fit thanks to the fine cut, and it has a matte and linen finish. And these statements are totally true. The cut was just so smooth. The edges were smooth. And I absolutely loved the matte finish on these pieces. And because of the matte finish, glare really wasn't an issue. And it might look like it with some of the camera angles during the time lapses, but honestly, you know, whilst I was sat in front of it, I didn't have any struggle with it. And the print, oh my goodness, I don't know if this was just because of this particular Thomas Kincaid image, but this print was not blurry on the pieces. It was clear. I knew what I was looking at, and the colors were great. And like I mentioned earlier, it's surprising because Thomas Kincaid images are kind of, they're painting, they look kind of blurry, but this was great. I was able to make out all the details in the pieces, and that in turn helped the whole experience seemed, easier in a sense, actually easier, much easier compared to my Seiko experiences. The fit was fantastic. It was nice and snug. And the best part of it all was that it wasn't crumbly, which can drive me super crazy when it comes to like putting together puzzles. But anyways, I don't know if I'm sounding super crazy, or is Schmidt really this amazing? Is this gonna end up being like a one-off experience, and when I open up my other puzzle, it's gonna be totally different? I don't know. So I'm super curious now. Let me know down below, what have your experiences been like with this brand? Is this how it always is? Is this gonna be a one-off for me? I don't know. But I'm honestly hoping that it always is this amazing when I work on them. Because as of this moment, without a doubt, I think, honestly, Schmidt has become like my number one. It seriously, it tops all of them, at least all the ones that I've tried. I've honestly never had a Thomas Kincaid puzzle image experience like this. This was so much fun to put together. I honestly didn't want this experience to end. And I really need to figure this out, because Amazon only really carries 4 or 5 different puzzle sets in their stock. And they're going for about $30, which, to be honest, I would very gladly pay for. I swear, if I had all the money in the world, I'd go nuts. And I honestly wish I knew about this before I collected all my Disney Thomas Kincaid puzzles in the Seiko brand. But if any of you know of any US-based websites where I can actually pick up a number of Schmidt puzzles, please let me know down below. I'm desperate. And I say that as if I have all the space in the world to start another collection on my puzzle shelves. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I'll figure it out. But anyways, guys, if any of you would like to share your own puzzling experiences with other puzzlers, I do have a community that you can join. And I'm going to leave a link down below so that you could look more into it. And if you're new here and you want to hear what I have to say about other new to me brands, be sure to subscribe. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for bringing this brand to my attention, because now I honestly can't stop thinking about it. So I hope you're all doing great. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.